Hey everyone, we are excited to present to you a high level case study. We are now calling these the high level breakthroughs. I have a very special guest today, Mr. Ashton Wilson. He built a company called Active Solutions. So he's been very vital in our community. And as we kind of rolled out this case studies project, I thought about him and some of the cool projects that he's working on. He was part of some of our virtual events in the past as well. I reached out and I'm grateful that he said yes. And our goal with these case studies is to highlight the human of the business. Now, what I mean by that is, in entrepreneurship, we're all in the trenches, we're working really hard, the journey could be lonely, and sometimes it's important to connect with others in the same boat. So today we are going to talk about Ashton's company. We're going to talk about the struggles, the celebrations, the finances. We're going to go kind of behind the scenes on everything. And I hope this will help you in your journey. So, Ashton, thanks for saying yes to us, man.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. First of all, I think this is a phenomenal idea too, because a lot of people talk about how much money they make and all the successes, and people don't really understand what it takes to get there. So this is a great segment.
I love it. We've heard nothing but the same feedback from others as well. This is now the third recording that we're doing, and our marketing team is doing an incredible job rolling out all the cool assets and resources behind it. Now, Ashton, tell us about who Ashton is. Like, how did you come across entrepreneurship? Why did you become an entrepreneur?
Yeah, so that's a phenomenal question. So about 3.5 years ago, I was doing a lot of things at once. So I was working in a hospital as a cardiac physiologist. Had my master's degree, and that's kind of like what I was aiming to do at that time. I was also personal training on the side and stuff like that. But I remember being at the hospital, and I looked at my my contract that I was given after about 6 months of working there, and I saw that I was eligible for a $1.50 raise per hour every 18 months. And I was like, wow, so this is what I'm supposed to do.
They're generous.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So I was like, this is what I'm just supposed to do for until I retire. So that was when I started spiraling a lot. I was like, I just worked my butt off for the last 5 years of my life to get to this point so that I could, have a $1.50 raise for every 18 months. So I go home, I start spiraling. At the time, I'm also like door dashing on the side. I'm doing a lot of different things.
And what year is this?
This is 2022, probably the beginning of 2022.
Okay.
Yeah. So not long ago, and I start researching how to make money online, and I come across a bunch of different things. And in the beginning, it took me a long time to really finally dive into something because I was very scared of spending my money on things I haven't spent money on before, which is like my own personal growth, my own personal development. Of course, I'll go out and buy shoes or spend money on food, but it's like when it comes to spending $1,000 on a course, I was like, whoa, I can't do that. And eventually I got desperate enough to where I bought my first course, and I remember it was on search engine optimization. And I tried freelancing, and I was doing jobs on Upwork, and then I bought another course on how to publish books. And then I bought another one, and I kind of just became an obsession. I was taking out personal loans. I was spending lots of money on personal credit. I bought another course on affiliate marketing, and I learned a lot about ClickFunnels and how to build funnels and run paid advertisement. And I spent more money on credit cards for Facebook ads while I was learning how to do affiliate marketing. And then I came across a course on how to start a marketing agency, and that was the one that I really stuck with. And now, at this point, I'm probably like $15,000 to $20,000 deep of spending money on courses. So I get to that point, and I start my marketing agency. The first one is a dental marketing agency. Doesn't get far. And then I realized, I'm like, what's my background? I was like, maybe I should stick to what I know. Like, I don't know how to talk to dentists. I've never worked in dentistry. I don't know anything about that. But what I do know about is gyms, because I did get the opportunity to run a gym previously, an Anytime Fitness Club. About a year prior to working at the hospital. So I was like, I'm going to start a gym agency because it's what I know best. It makes the most sense. So I started Gym Closers is what it was called. And that was what I started to really stick with. So I went all in on Gym Closers. I had a business partner at the time as well. And I was I invested more money into paid ads, and it wasn't working out, and nothing was really going the way that I wanted it to. And then I kind of everything bottomed out, right? I ran out of money. I wasn't able to sign up clients. I maybe had 1 or 2 clients that were paying me at the time. So I'm like, I need to go back to work because I don't have any more money. And
Go back for that $1.50 raise.
yeah, right. I was like, I need to go back to work. But then I was like, I'm not going back to the hospital. I'm not going to personal train again. So I need to learn a skill that's going to help me grow this business. So I got a sales job for a high ticket coaching company. And I revamped my resume and catered it more to sales, even though I had no sales experience. I got this job and I ended up doing really, really well. I was like, I'm going to invest every bit of energy that I have into becoming the best possible salesperson for the next 3 months. That was my goal. I was like, 90 days, I'll put the business on pause and I'll just become a great salesperson. So I was able to save up like $6,000 to $8,000 in my bank account over the next 90 days. So I leave the sales job and I'm like, I have more money for ad spend now.
Yeah.
So I throw $6,000 in ad spend over the next couple of months, and I was able to sign up like 8 to 10 clients. And I'm like, okay,
Wow.
so we get some revenue. Then we start to grow a little bit more.
And at this point, you're providing agency services, or are you providing sales as a service?
I am no, so yeah, agency services. So
Okay,
this is the
so you're
same
doing
business, gym closers.
Facebook ads, SEO,
Yeah.
lead
So,
gen,
yeah,
basically.
yeah, yeah. So
Okay.
the biggest thing was Facebook ads I was running Facebook ads for gym owners and setting up Go High Level for them as well.
Wow.
So I was setting up the whole thing, setting up all of the internal notifications so that they got pinged whenever a lead came in. Basically your standard marketing agency
So
setup.
in 2022, you're probably frustrated with high level and the way
Yeah.
the way high level was at that point. You're in the
Yeah.
early stages.
Yeah, 100%. And the funny thing too is that I didn't even know how to use High Level when I signed up my first client to start doing it. I was like, I need my first client to pay for High Level. So I told them, I was like, yeah, we're gonna give you the whole CRM and everything. I have no idea how to use it. So I signed the client up and I had to learn how to use it in order to provide them with the software, which is hilarious. But we ended up doing really well. He was with us for a really long time. The first
Yeah.
first
So
client.
what were you charging for these agency services? And this is, I guess, end of 22 by then?
Yes, this would
Got
have
it.
been actually no, this would have been closer to a little bit the beginning of 2023.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
And what were you charging for agency services?
So I was charging $997 a month.
Okay. And that's on the high end of gyms, right? Usually they're even lower? Or I don't know.
No, that's about standard.
That's
I would
about
say.
the standard.
Yeah, I'd
Okay.
say $997 to $1,500 a month is what you'll see.
Got it.
My first couple of clients, I signed up like $300 a month, and
Yeah.
but I worked my way up to being consistent with the 997.
So what are you feeling as a person at this point? You've got this 15 grand of debt that you invested into courses, just like we all did.
Yeah.
You've made money doing sales, about 6 to 7K. You rolled that into paid advertising to get 8 to 10 clients. What are you feeling emotionally at this point as that version of Ashton Wilson?
Yeah, that's a great question. So at first it was very, very nerve-wracking, right? It felt like I was losing everything that I had, but I also had this like epiphany. I was like, I'm pretty young. I haven't bought a house. All I have is a car payment, which I ended up selling my car actually for more ad spend at one point in time in that story. I forgot
We'll
to
get
mention
to
as
it.
well. Yeah. But at first I was like, I don't have a lot of liability. If I'm gonna go for something like this right now, like this is probably the best time to do it. After I started getting my first couple of clients, I saw that it was working, and that's what I was waiting for the previous like 8 months. So it was really just pure excitement. I was like, I have money coming in. I'm able to
Yeah.
make money off of something that I created. Like this is amazing. So there was a lot of excitement, a lot of anxiety as well, because you have, a couple of angry clients that are yelling at you and stuff. It's my first time like figuring all of this out. But it was actually a lot of fun. There was a lot of
And
excitement.
if you don't mind me asking, were you staying with your parents at the time? You have your own place? Like, how are you making ends meet when it's just 10 clients at the moment?
Yeah, so I was staying I was living in Chicago, Illinois, and I was living with my girlfriend at the time. She's my fiance now, but we were living together. We were splitting everything, splitting rent and everything like that. And we lived in a small place. So, I mean, I didn't have, like I said, a lot of liability. It was probably like $500-$600 a month I was paying for rent.
Got it. So, beginning of 2023, you feel like you cracked the code on agency clients. And even then you were providing high level as kind of your back end fulfillment services. So what were you doing, like database reactivations? What was the high level service, or what was the attachment of high level to your managed services?
Yeah, so it was really just giving them a system to utilize to manage the leads that came in.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so we got really good at generating leads for these gyms, even in the beginning. Like I was very obsessed with becoming like a master of Facebook ads. So we were we'd be able to pour in leads. We used to run this 5-day challenge, is what it was called.
Yeah.
We'll give you more business in 5 days than you got in the last 30 days, is what we used to say. So we do a 5-day challenge. It was a free trial for 5 days, and we would be able to get leads pouring in pretty quickly.
Wow.
But if we didn't use high level, they didn't know what to do with the leads, because we'd have to say, oh, you got to, go to log into Meta Business Manager. You'll be able to see all of your leads there. So we had to structure it in a better way where they could download the high level app. They could get login access to the high level. We set up the internal notifications so they get a text message when a lead comes in. And then we have the nurture, and this was before A2P, so this was easy. You know what I mean? But we had all the
The
nurture
olden
cadences set up.
days.
Exactly.
The old golden days.
Yeah, the golden days for real. We hate A2P now, but it's something you got to go through. But yeah, we would set up the nurture cadences and everything to really set them up for success, so that appointments could get booked on autopilot, but they could still call the leads whenever they got a text message that a new lead came in. So those were the types of systems that we set up.
Got it. So you started spending more money on paid advertising, I would assume, to acquire more clients.
Absolutely.
And what does that look like? Did you have closers and setters at this point? Are you handling all the sales yourself, onboarding yourself, the one-man army play? Is that what's happening?
So it was a 2-man army at the time. I had one business partner at the time who was doing all of the sales. I was doing all the back end fulfillment.
Gotcha.
So I was doing the client communication. I was doing the setting up the paid ads, setting up the go high level, all of that.
Yeah.
He was running all of the sales. We were spending a good amount of money on ads just so we could kind of like keep up. And then we transitioned to a more of a high ticket play. It was a 90-day plan that we'd sign people up on. It was $5,000 for a period of 90 days. And that's the first time that things went south. We got we got the business to like about $50,000 a month.
Wow.
Because it's easier. It's 10 clients at $5,000. We got the business to like $50,000 a month. We started hiring. I hired a media buyer. We hired 2 appointment setters and a couple other people on the team. The bad thing that we realized about high ticket is that it's all sales driven. So you work to grow. Well, you start investing to expand the team for growth, and then you have 1 month of bad sales. So you can go from $50,000 to $20,000 or $15,000 very quickly if you have a bad month of sales. So we had to fire everybody after that month, because the following month was one of the worst months we ever had. We had like a $12,000 month after a $50,000 month.
Got it.
And had to fire everybody.
So let's unpack that.
Yeah.
So you're totally excited at this point. You're scaling. You're getting to like 50 grand a month. And you and your business partner at the time, I guess, they're still your business partner?
No.
Or you have your own thing now? Yeah. So back then, why did you make the decision to hire out sales when you were already training in sales? Like you already had, the sales experience. Like what made you make that decision?
I think the biggest thing was that I was very heavily focused on the fulfillment side. So I was running all of the ads for all of our clients.
Yeah.
I was managing all of their go high levels. So I was like, I was putting in probably
You're the engineer in the back.
Yeah. And those were 10, 12-hour days of me just doing work, making the updates, setting up ad campaigns, creating new ad creatives. Whenever cost per lead was getting too high, I was having to test and create new things for different business owners or gym owners. So that was what I was.
That makes total sense, because when we did the virtual event with Joel Kaplan, Joel had brought you in as one of the specialists in his world. I was like, okay, we've got to get this guy in there to go do automations. And I want to say that was even before all the AI stuff that came out into high level. So you've taken a whole different new turn there.
Yeah.
Which I'm excited to get into.
Yeah.
So you're doing 50K a month. You've now brought in salespeople, then sales tank, because now you're having to train them up while keeping the flow going, while fulfilling. that dance is a dangerous dance,
Yeah.
right? What did you learn from that experience? Like, what was your biggest lessons in entrepreneurship there?
I think that the biggest lesson was that the foundational aspects of business are always going to be in play. So you're still, regardless of how much you can charge somebody on the front end or how much money you can collect, you still have to have a good business model. You have to be able to give people results. You have to be able to hire and train. You have to be able to create leaders on your team. There's a lot of things that you have to be able to know how to do. And I realized that my business partner at the time was leaning more on the high ticket side because he came from the high ticket space. That's why he was managing the sales. And that's why we switched to high ticket. And I realized that after we signed up a bunch of people, the value that we provided that didn't really match in the mind of the people we were selling to. So they would pay $5,000. They would be upset. We wouldn't be able to sign up people. We didn't have a reliable like foundation because now the next 90 days, like there's nothing promised from those customers, right? So I realized that it's not about how much money you collect up front, but it's the lifetime value that you create. And that's when we restructured our business model entirely.
Say that again. So it is about the lifetime value you create. What does that mean to the new person that's watching this for the first time?
So lifetime value is basically just it's the average amount of money that you're going to get from a customer over the lifetime of them being a customer in your business, right? So if somebody stays with you on average for 6 months and you charge $1,000 a month, then the lifetime value of that client is $6,000. So what I realized is even if let's charge $5,000 up front and collect $5,000 for a period of 90 days, if I charge someone only $1,000 up front and $1,000 a month, but they stay with me for a year, that's a $12,000 lifetime value over a $5,000. So it adds up over time, and it's not sexy because you can't go from $0 to $50,000 a month fast. But if you do this consistently and you provide a really good service and you work on improving with trial and error over the period of like a year or two, your recurring revenue starts to stack up because of that lifetime value.
That makes a lot of sense. So when did you make this pivot from high ticket to what's the next ticket? Mid ticket, low ticket, or what do you guys do?
It was more low ticket. Yeah.
Okay.
So it was low ticket. It was around $700 a month.
Okay.
So I was like, we completely transitioned. So this was like a perfect time too. This is right whenever
It's 2023, end of 2023, or
this is probably middle of 2023.
okay,
And this is when the partnership that I had at the time, we decided to kind of like go separate ways.
gotcha.
And I was like, just because it was kind of in a bad place or whatever. So we decided to go separate ways. And I was like, I'm going to restructure this business model and I'm going to do it right. And simultaneously, we happened to change businesses altogether. So that was when I started working on the conversational AI. ChatGPT 3 first came out, and I was super excited about it.
Yeah.
I was like, there has to be something we can do with this.
Yeah.
So I'm watching a bunch of YouTube videos. I'm seeing how ChatGPT works. I see that they came out with a Zapier integration that's pretty sophisticated. And I'm like, all right, I need to try to build this into like a CRM, right? We tried it in a couple, actually. I tried like building it into HubSpot. And we tried looking to see if it was possible in Salesforce because we had a couple of Salesforce clients. HighLevel was the only one that was sophisticated enough to house what we were trying to build because it had in the automation section, there's like a webhook that you can pull in. So we used a webhook to catch like whenever a response came in. And then we were able to fire that through Zapier back to ChatGPT and create a text bot that would communicate.
So a lot different than those Excel sheet days.
Yes, so much different. Yeah, absolutely.
So take us through that transition, if you don't mind. You know, kind of parting ways with your old business partner.
Yeah.
You're in Chicago still?
Yes.
Okay, so you're in Chicago.
Or actually, no, we were in Vegas at this time.
Okay, so you already moved
Yes.
by then.
Yes.
And you're looking at the new realm of high level and ChatGPT and AI and all this stuff. And now you're switching your business model at this point to like 700 something customers. So, or I'm sorry, $700 a month,
yeah.
right? What's happened to the 10 customers you originally started with? Did you part ways with them as well, or did you introduce a new price and grandfather them in? Like, what was that?
Good question.
Like,
Yeah. So a lot of them just kind of fell off over time, but
churned out essentially.
Yeah. But some of the clients, we had a good group, probably 5 to 10 clients that stayed with us from the beginning. And we grandfathered some of them into a new price. Some of them, they just kept paying what they were paying. but yeah, we had some people that stayed or that might actually still be with us that have been with us for like 2.5, 3 years now. But
Got it. So when did you launch your personal, like you alone by yourself? Like when did that launch happen?
yeah, so that was middle of probably June or July of 2023, I'd say,
Got it.
around there. Um,
And you're focused on gyms?
so this is when the transition started to happen
Okay,
away
yeah.
from gyms.
Help us kind of unpack that.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember maybe closer to March of 2023. But so I create the conversational AI. I basically don't sleep for a week trying to set this thing up. I finally get it to text me back. And I'm like, this is amazing. So I'm gonna offer this to gym owners, right? So I start running ads, conversational AI for gym owners. Gym owners don't like to call their leads. Everybody knows that. So if you have a conversational AI that can just go back and forth, it makes everything easier for them. So I create this thing and I start offering it. I start running the ads. We're getting like dollar leads on Facebook. A bunch of people are
Wow.
opting in. But here's the weird part is that we start calling these leads and they're like, hey, I see your ad is conversational AI for gym owners. I'm not a gym owner. They would be like chiropractors. They'd be other things, marketing agency owners. They'd be like, but we really want to use this. And I'm like, these people want to give us money. We can't keep telling them no. So we start signing up a bunch of people, and eventually we get to the point where we have more non-gym owner clients than gym owner clients, but we're still branded as gym closers. And I'm like, this doesn't make sense. So we
Wow.
rebranded to Active Solutions, and it was emphasis of conversational AI, and we actually removed marketing from the picture entirely.
Wow. I had this impression that you can't lead with features, but you're proving that kind of kind of wrong because you're like, I'm leading with conversational AI.
Yeah.
But what is the disconnect? What's the context that you provided
Mm-hmm.
that others usually can't when they're leading with features?
That's a great question. And actually, I think that is a potential. So I call what we did feature niching. And the cool thing about feature niching is a lot of people talk about niching, like niching in industry, like gym closers. We work with gyms, we're niching in industry. One of the things that we did was we feature niched, but we offered it to everybody. So you're still mastering one thing that you do um, in one service area, but you're able to offer it to so many more people. So because your market reach increases so substantially, it actually works just as well as if you offer more services to a niched industry. So we realized, I mean, I was against it at the time too, and I hate shiny object syndrome and jumping different business models. So I tried to avoid it as much as I possibly could, but it was just like the market was responding so well to it. We were like, we're not even advertising to these people, and they're asking to.
And I know you at a personal level, even back when you had your dental agency, from what I remember, you were one of the guys that focused on one industry, one offer, one thing. That's all we do. Everything else get out of the way. Like
Yeah.
I model the same thing for
Yeah.
my agency as well.
Yeah.
So when you made this shift happen, how did that affect the business? Like what and you're offering $700 essentially retainers
Mhm.
or subscriptions,
Yep.
if that's the right word. Or did you provide managed services as well?
No, it was really just conversational AI, and it was just a subscription. So you
Gotcha.
would just activate the subscription, and that's pretty much it.
And did you white label or you're just running it as high level?
What do you mean white label?
Did you white label the
Oh,
offer?
yeah, gotcha,
Yeah,
gotcha.
yeah.
So, we always told people it was high level or
Yeah.
high level. We never hid that, but we have a white labeled agency. It was we
Gotcha.
rebranded it as Active Solution or Active CRM is what we call it. But yeah,
So you have the brand that's in the front,
Mhm.
but you didn't necessarily change up the branding of the system.
Yeah, no, so we white labeled everything in terms of like made it look different. We
Okay,
just
okay,
didn't care if
okay.
people knew if it was high level or
Gotcha,
not.
gotcha.
Yeah,
So you're like, we're built on top of high level. Or
exactly.
we're
Yeah,
powered by high level.
yeah,
And
yeah,
that's okay.
yeah.
And was that how you always felt? Or
Absolutely. Yeah,
okay.
100%. Yeah.
Because
I didn't.
we hear the other side too. We're like, well, I don't want anybody to know
Yeah,
it's high
yeah.
level, and then over time,
Mhm.
it's not a big deal.
Yeah, yeah. I just there's something I didn't like taking credit for something that I didn't build. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm not a software developer. I was like, there's a bunch of smart people in the back end at high level that created this thing. We just build everything that we have on top of it. I created the integration for the conversational AI, which is cool, but I wouldn't have been able to do it without the system itself. And we used other people would a lot of our clients actually have Go High Level already, and we would build it into their system. So we don't even require them to be in our agency.
Gotcha. So 2023, you moved to Vegas. You have this new pricing model. You're catering to everybody in a sense, but you're feature niching. How did you get your first customer?
So first, Facebook ads.
Okay, so you just said, I'm just gonna roll my dice
Yeah.
on paid ads because
Yeah.
you already knew paid ads.
Yeah.
Is that what you would suggest if you go back in time? Is that what you would do now again?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I think
Why
it's
so?
I think it's once you solve the when you start a business in general, I think you need to solve the acquisition problem regardless. Like everybody needs a good product, absolutely. But you don't know how you're going to be able to make the product better if people don't use it. So you need to be able to consistently get customers. And Facebook ads was one of the easiest ways to do that. I tried cold email. I got a couple customers with cold email as well, using something called Woodpecker. They have a bunch of other cooler things now. Cold outreach via DMs I did as well. Facebook ads it's one of the things where you might lose a little money in the beginning, but it's not losing money. Like you're basically paying for your own competence in that area.
Research.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And once you crack the code on Facebook, it's so easy. Like I'm very confident I can jump into any industry, and if I know enough about it, I can create an offer, I can throw it on Facebook, I will get leads, and I will get sales.
Yeah.
Like it's
Set appointments, close appointments.
exactly.
That's always been the mantra for a
Yeah.
long time.
Yeah, SACA is what they call it. Yeah.
And, shout out to Joel Kaplan. Joel, I was in Joel's program and I met you there back then. And that was one of the things Joel always drilled: run paid ads ASAP, set appointments, close appointments. It's just a good reminder of that. So thank you, Joel. When it comes to scaling, like, so when you went from your cracking the code on the paid ads, what did you do to get to your first 10 customers or maybe the first 20 customers?
So that actually came really fast. While we probably hit 10 customers when we were still running conversational AI for gym owners. We just had so many people come in that weren't gym owners asking to have what we had. And then it was super easy to sign them up. So we probably hit 10 customers in the first, I'd say 3 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah.
Which is astronomical for a lot of people.
Pretty solid. Yeah.
Yeah. And what does the fulfillment look like at that moment?
So the
What is
fulfillment
it?
so that's the thing, is because it's harder to scale, or not harder to scale, it takes longer to scale a low ticket recurring model. We had to keep the team lean for longer. So it was me and it was Angela, my fiance, and we had 2 people from the Philippines, and that's it.
Got it.
That was the only team we had for a good amount of time, probably about 4 or 5 months. But it was me on the back end, building all of the conversational AI, troubleshooting it, setting it up for customers. And that was the whole business. And I was also taking the sales calls and doing all of that as well.
And how many customers are y'all at now?
We have about 250 customers now.
Yeah. So let's talk numbers. So going from 10, 20 to 250, that's quite the jump. There's a lot of different milestones and chapters that you went through. Walk us through some of those revenue milestones. Walk us through client acquisition milestones. Walk us through, some of the good, bad, and the ugly in scaling.
Yeah, absolutely. So over the last year, I'd say there was a lot learned. One of the things that you don't realize is when you build a business like this and you have a really good foundation and you get to like $50,000-$60,000 a month, and you have that recurring revenue and you can predictably start scaling the team and hiring people. Hiring, training, and building leaders is one of the hardest parts about being able to grow, because you have to be able to replicate what you're doing into other people so that they can do it for your clients. So one of the first bottlenecks that we hit was we were like, everything's going so well, we're signing up people, and like, this is so great, it's so easy to sign people up. And then we get to around $50,000 a month, and we start churning a bunch of people because the people that we're hiring, that we're teaching to do the job, aren't able to do it as well as us, and it's making people unhappy. And like, so that's the first bottleneck. So we're then like, okay, are we hiring the right people, or do we just suck at training people? We have to figure out.
Or do we have the wrong customers?
Exactly. Or do we? Yeah. So we have to look internally for that, and we realized that it was a little bit of both. We didn't have a well-oiled machine when it came to hiring. We were too eager to hire, and we were just picking anybody. And we were hiring mainly for culture, and we didn't look into like experience when both are important. And we had to figure those things out. And then that kind of eliminating that milestone was helped us to get to kind of like $100,000 a month. And then the next bottleneck was building the leadership part is really, really tough. And we're actually still going through that a little bit. But it's having other people that are also managing a team. So now we have we have pods of 2 to 3 account managers and prompt engineers. And then we have our senior account managers. And having senior account managers that can train their team is very tough, because when you start to have multiple people in leadership, you see a very big difference between performance under those groups. Like, we'd be like, why is this group doing so well and all their clients are doing great, and then all of our churns are coming from this senior account managers? And it's because the senior account manager can't lead. They're not keeping track of what the account managers are doing, and it's just a domino effect from that point forward.
Yes, I love this. So let's backtrack for a quick second. You have a team of 4 at this point, or in the early stages?
Yeah, in the early
Okay,
stages.
okay.
Yeah.
When did you decide to hire the 5th person?
5th person was probably about 3 or 4 months down the road, I'd
Got
say.
it. So it took about almost 5 months to get to $50K a month the second time.
Yes.
Got it.
Correct.
So then you hired. What was your first hire? Was it an account manager? What was the roles that they were doing?
It was an appointment setter.
Okay. So because you're focused on the back end,
Mm-hmm.
you want to hire on the front end sales, essentially.
Yes.
Got it. So you hired an appointment setter. You're running paid ads, filling up their calendar. Then walk us through that.
Yeah, so we hired an appointment setter at the time, and Angela was the appointment setter. So we basically just replaced her. So she was making all the phone calls, setting appointments for me. I was closing them. I was also doing the back end work. And so we hired an appointment setter to replace Angela, and we moved Angela to the back end. So she was kind of the one that started leading the team in the background and like helping with talking to clients and like getting the requests, and then like feeding it to me, and then I would make the changes. So we were kind of figuring out how to structure the team in a way.
So you're trying to figure out what to do next, and Angela's kind of in the operations world a little bit at this point, instead of the sales.
Yep.
So going from 50K to 100K a month, what do you think you did differently to make that happen? Like, what was the turning point?
I think the turning point was 50K to 100K was we started hiring pretty rapidly. We kept hitting this wall where we were signing up too many people and didn't have enough people to manage on the back end. So we started hiring very, very rapidly, and it was just kind of like trial and error. I think the best way to become competent in something is just to do it. I think some people like to overanalyze and think about it a lot. And we kind of made the decision that we were just going to move faster than everybody else. So we were just like, all right, let's just hire 5 people. And we were really cool with operating thin. Like we were able to live off, like, me and Angela together, like $3,000 a month, and we were good. Like, that's all we needed for our car payment, like rent, everything. So we didn't need to be profitable. We were like, let's just figure this out. So we spent a bunch of money on hiring people, making the wrong hires, people messing up, putting out fires, and then learning how to hire, building a hiring system, the right way to like form an application and interview people, how many interviews you should have. And then finally we got like a really good system. And we started running ads in the Philippines as well, for the type of hiring, or just targeting on LinkedIn, only like hiring in the Philippines, or like targeting the Philippines on LinkedIn. And we built a really solid system. We were able to find competent people very, very quickly, hire them, train them very quickly because they were already competent. And that was the thing that got us from 50 to 100, is because now we're able to handle the volume. So clients are staying with us for longer, and the recurring revenue started adding up and stacking quicker.
Got it. And you still have your paid ads running for your agency client acquisition.
Absolutely. Yep.
Got it. So how often are you, like, what is the velocity of sales at this point? Like, how many clients are you bringing in, like, in a month?
At this point that we're talking about,
Yeah.
I would say we're probably signing up about 20 clients a month at that point.
a month.
Yes.
And then, so that means there is 80 to 100 sales calls happening minimum.
Yes.
Or,
Yeah.
and on top of that, another set of onboarding happening. So it's
Mhm.
about triple the amount of meetings
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
the team, right? So from 100K a month, how many clients are you at this point?
Reaching 100K, I would say about 150 to 160 clients.
Got it.
And some people are paying us anywhere from a range of like, it's at this point from $497 a month to like $1,297 a month. So it's like
Got
a
it.
range of.
Got it. So what does support look like for you guys at this point? Are you outsourcing any of it? Do you have integrations on the back end, or do you have a team of pods or whatever
Yeah.
for just that?
Yeah. So we keep everything. We made the decision to keep everything in house. So we
Got
had
it.
there's a lot of
Why
times.
is that? Like that? That's the opposite of what a lot of high levelers say. They just
Yeah.
want to outsource everything and get out of the way.
Yeah, yeah. Well, long term, I always think long term, and long term, I want a very sustainable business model. And even if we don't plan on selling it, I want it to be very sellable. Like I want it to be considered an asset. I don't want my business to be reliant upon other people's businesses, right? So I want to be in control of a lot of what happens internally. So that's why we decided to build it that way. So any of the hiring and training that we do, we don't outsource any of it.
Help us understand how you put the team together to field your customers. So, are you recording calls? Are you putting together resources? Are there help docs? How do you field tickets? Like, what does managing 150 SaaS customers look like?
Yeah. So we use Slack very heavily.
Okay.
So Slack is a big portion
All your
of it.
customers are in there, or you mean your team?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, team and customers, both.
Okay.
So we have specific team channels, like we have our leadership channels, we have our just communication with the entire team in general. Whenever a new sale is brought in, we also have a channel where it's just like, a funny gift goes off and it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
everybody gets to celebrate.
The ring the bell.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. And then we have all of our channels with the clients. And Angela is managing a lot of this, or actually all of it, at this point in time. But at this point in time, we had one senior account manager, and then we just had a bunch of account managers. We probably had like 6 or 7 account managers under one senior account manager at the time, which isn't the right way to do it, but that's how we were doing it at the time.
That's a lot of account managers.
It is.
So, is that because you didn't want to give up the quality? Is there a reason why you had 6 account managers? Because typically, for 150 clients, on average, from what I know, it's usually 2 to 3 account managers at
Yeah.
most for SaaS.
Yeah.
For agencies, maybe more. But
Yeah.
help us understand how your hiring thought process.
Yeah. So the account manager is kind of like they have their own book of business that they manage. So it was like the account manager was managing maybe 20 clients, I would say, 20 clients that they were servicing their requests on a daily basis, making changes to automations, making changes to conversational AI and stuff like that. So it was just, that's kind of how we scaled the team. It was like, okay, when one account manager is capped, we're just going to hire a new one. And we just kept kind of like doing that.
Yeah. And is your offer different per client? Or
No,
is the 700 per month the same across the board? So everybody can replicate and
yeah,
duplicate.
great question. So sometimes we have some other things that we offer as well every once in a while where we upsell, like AI attribution, for example. But it's not too frequent that we.
Edge cases.
Yeah. So it's like I said, it's anywhere from $497 to $1,297 a month, I would say. But the main base price is that 700.
Got it. And you're in 2023 still at this point?
This point is
At 100K a
entering.
month?
This is 2024 territory.
So you're in 2024. You guys are doing over 100 grand a month at this point. What are you doing next? Like who's the Ashton Wilson as the entrepreneur at this point? You must feel like, man, a man on the mountain.
It would seem like it. So at this time, I'm really like obsessing over what the correct way to structure this business is, because I can tell the way that it's growing. I'm like, there's a better way to do this. So I had a bunch of people that I was consulting with on like how I should structure the team. And I was just trying to build everything the right way. And This was around the time too of where the ads kind of started to not perform as well. So I was like everything was trial and error. I'm like, how do we need to structure the team? And I'm like testing new acquisition channels. I'm testing like cold email all over again, LinkedIn outreach. I'm testing more ads. And then finally we get to this point where the ads start working really, really well again. But at this point, I'm actually kind of out of the picture on the back end. Like I'm not doing any of the building work, right?
Yeah.
People have questions. They come to me and they ask, and they're like, hey, I
Yeah.
don't really know how I should prompt this situation or serve this client's request, and I'll help them. But I'm not in any of the Slack channels or directly communicating with the clients at this point.
Got it. Well, you strike me as a guy who loves business models. The
Yeah.
conversations that we've always had is usually around different cool projects and business models that are
Yeah.
happening. What are you following to build your SaaS business, like, or the agency play? Like, is there something that you're like looking at as a blueprint, or is it like all uncharted territories? I'm just gonna go trial by fire.
That's a great question. So it's probably 50-50. A lot of what I'm trying to model is early Amazon in a way, but there's such different business models like mine and Amazon that a lot of it's trial by fire as well, right? I just have to figure it out. But one of the things I love about early Amazon before advertising on their platform became like one of their major
Things, yeah.
revenue sources. It was off of like their subscriptions and like money that they were making from their partners as well. And one of the things that Jeff Bezos always said was like we're just trying to make like the customer experience phenomenal. And that's what I was trying to do. I was like, I need a price point that is solid, that makes sense to the customer. And then, but I want like, even if they're paying $700 a month, I want every single person to come in and say, wow, I would have paid more for that. And it wasn't about making more money. Like every time we added more stuff, unless we had to pay more for it, we would not add any additional. So like reactivation campaigns, we wouldn't charge extra for. And a
It's
lot of
just all about over delivering.
yeah, 100%. Because in the grand scheme of things, I was like, even if our margins are smaller, I feel like that we can just eliminate the competition by building something that's just so like solid of a product and offering it to the customer that it's just going to be a no-brainer.
Yeah. And there's something powerful about that because we experienced that at high level.
Mhm.
For a long time, the focus is product, product, product. It's a product led company, and it will always be a product led company,
Yeah.
right? And what happens is the customers create noise for you.
Yeah.
The affiliates create noise for you because they believe in so much of the delivery.
Yeah.
They believe in the product. Did you start seeing that as part of like your 150 customers now starting to like you start finding like rising stars and things like that, or like what, help us understand what you experienced?
Yes. Yes. So we would get a decent amount of referrals, and we still do on a monthly basis. I wouldn't say it's like a huge
Yeah.
point. I think eventually it will. I think 2 years from now, I think we're gonna have. I think we'll get a lot of referrals. Because 200 clients is still at the. It's like that weird point where it's like, okay, I'll probably get we'll get 10 to 15 referrals like on a monthly basis. But it's not like a game changing yet, right?
Yeah.
We also implemented something that we modeled off of HighLevel recently, which was a really good affiliate platform.
Of course.
So
Yeah.
so one of the things I love about HighLevel, which I think is genius, a lot of people will say HighLevel is they're crazy for offering 40% commissions. I think it's 40% commissions directly.
For life.
Yeah, for life, and then 15% on the secondary
Yeah. It's
person, right?
5% for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
The second tier.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
but people are like, "How would they give away 40%?" And I'm like, HighLevel has places or has people that are making full-time livings off of just sending them customers. Think about that. And that's another long game play. It's like
Yeah.
it's people who are thinking in the short term are like, "I'm not giving away 40%." But in my mind, I'm like, "But what if we could have people who are making full-time livings off of just sending us customers?" That removes our acquisition costs entirely.
Yeah. There's a sense of confidence that comes with a product that's really strong.
Yeah.
Because when the product is really strong and you feel that and you know it, and you don't see other competitors coming close to the technology, you're like, you don't care about the money that it makes. economics. You
Yeah.
don't, because you're like, this product will live longer than most people think. There's enough market length for acquisition that you can give away a free trial, people jump in. You
Yeah.
can do a discounted offer, people jump in. So um, I think that's a great point you're making, Ashton, is that when you have product led businesses, um, customers grow, they become advocates. You are now putting together an affiliate program. So help us understand what it took to go from 150 customers to 250. Like, what did that transition look like?
Hmm.
What is the size of the team, and you're settled in Vegas at this point in 2024?
Yes.
Or okay, got it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
walk us through that.
So, size of the team is about 25 to 30 people. And one of the biggest things was restructuring the team. Because you run into the same bottleneck that we ran into when we were going from 50 to 100 as well. As we were we were hiring on new account managers. Each account manager was managing people, but every once in a while you'd have a bad apple that would slip through the cracks, right? And their clients aren't happy that they're servicing, churn increases, and it's this whole thing. Then we saw that it was because we have one senior account manager and we have all these account managers. Like, how is this person supposed to lead everybody? So we started restructuring into pods. So we promoted a couple of the account managers to senior account managers. We had 3 senior account managers who managed about 3 account managers, and they each all had their own prompt engineer as well. So we structured them that way, so it was an easier workflow for each senior account manager. That gave us another window to open up to probably go from like 150 to like 210, 220 clients, I would say, where we were able to manage more. And everything's about the recurring revenue. Once you hit a point where you see churn start to increase, it's very easy to say, if you're paying attention to what's happening within your business, something's wrong, right? If churn just went from, in the last 5 months, went from 7.5% to 15%, something's wrong,
Sheesh. Yeah.
right? So that's that we would I would just see those things and it'd be like, we need to structure everything differently.
Yeah. So at 100 grand a month, you're at 150 clients, you said.
Yeah, roughly.
And then when you went to 250 customers now, like, what are you guys doing top line?
Top line. So our biggest month was about 163,000.
Got it. And what does that look like from an operations standpoint? Like, what are you able to take home? What are you able to put away? What are you able to reinvest back into the business? And you still have your paid ads running, right? So that's like a operating expense that
Yeah.
just won't stop, right?
Yeah, yeah. So at this point in business, this is a weird point in business because you kind of have a couple of choices that you could make. When you're doing like a consistent $150,000 a month plus, it's like you can reinvest a lot of that back into the business for growth, or there's a lot you could take home, right? So theoretically, if we wanted to, we could probably take home $60,000 to $70,000 a month, income wise, which is very nice for
Yeah.
a
But
lot
why
of
would
people.
you do such a thing? You rather
Exactly.
That's the last thing anybody would want to do when you're at that point.
Yeah, yeah. So recently, we invested in a more leadership hires as well as an HR department that we're building out. So we have a full person that's building out like our HR, who's managing like all of our policies that we have within the company. Like, there are 3 strikes for when they, if they get let go, or like certain rules that they break, health insurance that gets provided, stuff like that. And so those investments obviously significantly decrease,
Margin.
your margins, but it's still all about the long-term goal, right? It's a lot of people would be happy here. Like, they would be happy. It's like, okay, let's just keep it how it is. Let's maintain. Let's continue to grow slowly and incrementally, and let's take home $50,000 to $70,000 a month, and do whatever we want to do and travel. But yeah, we didn't go that route. So.
Yeah, yeah. It sounds like you're happy, but you're hungry.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So to be honest, it's like we still live off, like, when we hit a couple of milestones, I did one thing that I've been wanting to do for a long time, and I bought a Porsche. And
Nice.
but that's the only nice thing we have.
Yeah.
We still have a small rent payment, and we live very frugally. Together, we live off of, $10,000, $15,000 a month. And that's really all we need. Everything we dump back into the business everywhere we can.
I love it. So 250 customers. How did you get there from 150 customers? Like, what is the most recent jump or adjustments you made in the business?
The recent jumps are, one really solid move was a new sales leader that we hired. The sales team is just doing a really good job. Like we signed up like 45 to 50 people last month, for example, alone, which was
You said they're doing a good job. What's your measuring stick? What is a good job?
closing percentage. So closing at like 34% consistently. And it just like that also creates more bottlenecks. It's like when you go from signing up 25 people a month to 40, it's like, all right, like we need to figure out how to handle this. One of the reasons for the HR department, but we also restructured the team. So we still have pods, but now we have a front end and we have a back end team.
Got it.
As well.
And your acquisition model is still paid ads with Facebook.
For us personally.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, yeah. So we're
Okay.
about 80% Facebook ads, and then some of it is coming from YouTube as well.
Got it. So walk us through the restructuring of the sales team from when you first started to where you are now. I assume it went through a couple of versions of revamp.
Yeah, it did. So we had to hire and fire a lot of closers, a lot of them. Probably like 10 to 12, I would say, over the course of even the last like 8-9 months.
Wow.
So we went through a lot of them. Same thing with setters. But the sales team is still really lean. Like I probably take like 5 calls, I would say, a month.
So you're still doing sales calls too?
Oh yeah, I'll jump in. Yeah, wherever I need to. I'll jump in on the back end too. I'll jump in
Do you
whenever
like
I'm
the
needed.
control of what's happening, or do you? Why do you still jump in when you're
Yeah.
at this point?
So it would be really just whenever, like if the closer's calendar is too full. Like we have a UK based closer, and some days he'll be taking like 9 calls a day.
Gotcha.
So if there is a really good lead that I don't want them to be pushed out 48 hours or more, I'll say just throw them on my calendar.
Got it.
So if it's a really solid prospect, then I'll just tell them to throw it on my calendar.
Yeah. This reminds me of when Sean, our CEO, still did onboarding calls.
Really?
Even after we had thousands of customers.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So help us understand. So you churn through a lot of the sales reps based on performance, I assume.
Yes.
And when do you decide to keep some of them? Like what makes them stay? Like what is your standard of saying, okay, this person has hit that standard?
Consistency. So consistency is one of the biggest measuring sticks, and it's also you can tell the effort that the person is putting in by how quickly. And this is something that I've realized, actually, a really good measuring stick. How quickly they gain product knowledge. So there are some people we hired in the past where we had a closer for like 3 weeks, and it's like you still don't know the answer to these questions about the company. You know what I mean? But if you see someone that's self-sufficient, you hire somebody, and within the first week, it's like they know everything. You can tell they became like they were really took this serious. They were kind of obsessed with like doing their own research. Maybe even watching a couple of my YouTube videos, navigating the website, reviewing all of my call recordings that I gave them. The people who understand the product really well in a short period of time are the people who are putting in more effort. So when you take that and you tie it to their actual skill set as a salesperson, it's perfect.
And it's important that you don't force enthusiasm.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
You have to let that kind of naturally build up, and that's when you know, okay, we got an A player. Let's invest time into it. So what's next for you guys? You guys sound in a 2-year window. I mean, it's kind of an insane run.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's next for you guys?
Next goal milestone is 500 clients. So we want to get to 500 clients. And we want to continue trial by fire. Like we're going to try as many things as we possibly can. And we've just realized that that's worked. It's like, if you try to do things faster than everybody else, you learn faster than everybody else. So that's I think that's the thing that we're going to stick with. big goal, like I really want to take this. There's a lot of ways we could like shift this company, but I really want to take this like very, very far over the next 10 years. I plan on sticking with it for the long game. Like I want to build something very large, that's lasting, very sellable, and I want to have like a solid foundation, and I want it to be better than any other, service or product that anybody else has in a similar industry.
Yeah, I love that. So 2024 to 2025, we're in 2025 now. So what does your offers look like today? I know there's a ton of AI stuff since the conversational AI stuff came out.
Yeah.
Like there's been a whole lot of layers
Hmm.
of AI. So what does that look like for your customers? How does that affect your business?
Hmm.
What do you look at high level and you're like, I don't need some of these things and that's okay. Like what
Yeah.
does that look like?
Yeah. So we really just have a single offer, and it is all pertaining to building out people's acquisition systems. So we take people who are like a really good avatar for us, or any brick and mortar business owner, online business owner who's running paid ads or generating leads consistently. We have a lot of viral people too who just get leads organically through like their Instagram or YouTube or something like that. But we build out their systems to maximize their appointment booking rate, their show rates, and their sales. And we do that with HighLevel, like solely HighLevel. We also use something called Cometly, which is an AI attribution tool that we set up for people as well. That it's basically syncs to their ads and helps them see exactly which advertisements are bringing in the most leads or the lowest cost per acquisition and stuff like that. It's a really cool tool. But we build out HighLevel, build out their conversational AI. We'll restructure their landing pages. We'll connect it to the ads that they're currently running. We'll set up all of their nurture campaigns, all of that.
Got it. And you're still catering to not a specific industry, but in
Anyone and
anybody.
everyone. Yeah.
That's amazing.
We have $5,000 a month fitness coaches, and we have a HVAC company in Canada that's doing 48.5 million a year.
Yeah, it's such a you open up your market substantially, right? When you
Mhm.
go down that lane instead of focusing on a certain industry like dentistry. Um, so, final thoughts that you would share to the folks that are watching, and maybe there's somebody on this that's watching and they don't have a customer yet.
Mhm.
Maybe they're only a month into the world of high level. They hear all this hype, but they don't know if it's real.
Yeah.
When you
Yeah.
hear all in one, it's just too good to be true.
Yeah.
And that's sometimes the most difficult part about us.
Yeah.
It's like we mean all in one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you share your thoughts and what you would advise to that entrepreneur?
Absolutely. Especially if you're using Go High Level, there's so many places you could take it. I think $0 to $10,000 a month, or even your first client, is all purely personal development. It's you just believing that it's possible, and if you knew how possible it was, you would be taking significantly more action towards making something happen. I have friends that are doing $50,000 a month, and all they do is use Go High Level to build landing pages. Like it's absolutely ridiculous. You can focus on, like, I'm feature niching, but that's like feature niching. Like
Yeah.
all I do is build pages for a specific type of avatar. There's so many different ways you can take it. There's so many things you can do with Go High Level. You can build conversational AI. You can build email campaigns. And the landing pages. You can build full websites. You can integrate it to WordPress. Like it's there's just so many links that you could take it. It is possible. There are so many people that are leveraging it to make money, to attain financial freedom just by using the platform. It's just realizing that you can do it and kind of taking more action towards making something happen. I see too many people that kind of part-time it. They're working full time and they're like, "Oh, I want to try, a little bit of SaaS, or I want to try using Go High Level to make some money on the side." And they'll just spend, like, a couple hours a week doing it. You need to, if you knew that 6 months from now you were going to be making $20,000 a month using this platform, you'd be working way, way, way harder. And you need to know that that is actually possible. I was in the same position at one point in time where I was like, I saw all these people making money, and it was on YouTube where I'd see their ads and I'd be like, I don't know if this is. They probably rented that stuff. I don't know if this is real. I don't know if people are actually making this money or if people are lying. but it is real, and it's not easy. Like business is always going to be something you have to learn, but you can only learn by doing it. You have to become competent. So I would just say, just start taking action as soon as possible.
I love that, Ashton. Well, I just want to say thank you for your willingness to share, the behind the scenes of the struggles, the celebrations, the milestones, the progression. All of it has been just so fabulous to hear.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. This was awesome.
Yeah, for those of you that were watching, this is one of our newest endeavors called the High Level Breakthroughs. We brought in another case study here to share with you that there is a human component to the journey of entrepreneurship here at High Level. Look forward to seeing you on the next one. Bye for now.